All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to G.S.R. Gonzo'S Sports Room. I will share, try to get the show shared out. I forgot to add us to the stream.
Somehow I felt like that wasn't supposed to happen that way.
Hey,
Much like the Astros and the way that they played today. It wasn't supposed to happen that way.
uh, what's happening, Billy? Billy just won a nail biter 3-team parlay.
Billy,
$30 for
we don't
400.
care, Billy.
Ooh,
We don't look, Billy, we don't care. Well, I
$408.
don't care. Like
$408 on a 3-team parlay. Hell yeah. $30 bet, $408. That's a good win.
yeah, hey Glenn, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm definitely back, man. But Glenn, again, man, your Mets beat my Astros, so I really don't care, Billy. I don't care. One bit. Don't be mad at me, Billy, man. Come on, man. You know, my boys are hurting right now, man. We're hurting. We're hurting out here.
So
God.
well, before we jump into that, I'm Chris Gonzo'S. He's Jay McLovin. We got off to a little bit of a different start tonight because I was messing up. But anyway, Glenn says, Glenn says, nice to see you back, Jay. And Glenn go.
No,
Glenn goes
well,
into
that was the Reds yesterday. I was talking about the Mets today. I mean, hey, look, pick your poison. We've been getting our asses handed to us night in and night out for the last 5 games. And, Gonzo, we are just playing horrible at home. Our home field is our worst ever, man. Like, I'm just begging to get back out on the road. Give us a day off and let's get back out on the road. Hey, Jack, care you're safe in Texas. I'm sad now. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's a lot of craziness out there, man. But there's a hurricane down there south of Cuba. North Carolina's got tornadoes going through it. It's all kinds of craziness.
Your Astros tried to come back and beat the Reds yesterday. 4 extra inning. Then the Reds had a big 10th.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of issues with the Astros right now. The biggest issue is the bullpen. The bullpen has just really just been killing us. And then it's just a lot of inconsistency, honestly, across the board. We're either hitting well and pitching horrible or pitching well and we're just not hitting. I mean, it's like we're so out of sync right now that I just don't know if Dusty Baker has the pulse of the team or what's going on with that. I mean, honestly, we just can't seem, to put it all together, and it's just killing us right now. Yeah, you're right, man. Yankees and Dodgers, they're hurting as well, man. I think the Yankees, they just got blown out by the Red Sox. And a lot of it, if you look at, the Yankees, and I don't know about so much the Dodgers. I haven't really kept enough with the Dodgers to know their injury statuses and things like that. But definitely the Yankees have been hurting. The Astros have been hurting. We may get our Quiddy back. We may eventually get Brantley back. We haven't had – Alvarez has been out for, I think, almost a week now. He's out for, I think, a total of 4 weeks. McCullers is out of the season with injury. Garcia's out of the season with injury. I mean, it's just – I don't know, man. It's just been crazy, man. It's been crazy.
The Reds, man. We've I know as of last week, on Thursday, Wednesday, we had the most players in Major League Baseball in the IL in 14, and which is crazy to considering how well we've been playing this year, especially the last 2 months. Since April, we've really turned our season around. We were 1-9 on the road to start the season, and now we have a winning record on the road. We won 5 straight road series. Got another win tonight for our 9 games in a row. That's the most since like 2000 that we've won in a row since like 2010, 2012, I think it was.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, we're missing 2 of our better starters. That have got hurt and been out. We should be getting one of them back. We just got Joey Votto back today, and he had a big game in his first game back tonight. hit a home run in it, hit a RBI single. He had a total of three RBIs tonight in his first game back. And then we do our closer. I mean, Diaz, he has the longest active streak without blowing a save, like 22 or 23 now. That's going back to the last season, but he has 18 saves this year. He's 18 for 18.
So what you're saying is you're doing well. Okay, care. Hey, but Billy does say Gonzo saved you money in your cable. You know what? He did, man. I got to be honest with you, man. I'm extremely excited about that. Gonzo really did take good care of me. But I've noticed that since I've switched from cable to streaming in this service now, that when that happened, so did the losing streak. So it's bittersweet. I'm not watching any Astros games at all now. I have relegated myself to not watch, and I'm not, because I'm superstitious, Gonzo. I'm a very superstitious guy, and I feel like if I'm going to go 2 weeks now, and I'm not going to watch any Astros games, and I'm going to see if I can turn this luck around, and hopefully the Astros will get back on the winning ways. But ever since I switched over, Gonzo, and I think you plotted this, honestly. I think Gonzo said, I think if I get Jay streaming services with Fire Stick, it will then screw up the Astros. The Reds will go into hiatus of winning, and the whole world will come rebalanced. So I blame you, Gonzo. I love you, but I blame you. And I know this was your, little thing that you did over there. I know. I got you. Look, you ain't fooling me.
So I don't have to worry about the Astros, though, because we wouldn't play the Astros till the World Series. So I'm not worried about the Astros yet.
And like you said, Will says, okay, make me feel better. God, I've been feeling terrible the last couple of days, boy.
I think that's the only way we can play you guys again, isn't it?
I think so. I don't know if we will see you guys between now and then. I gotta go back and I know we won't see you before All-Star break. That's for damn sure. And I do think Tony, I think Gonzo put some damn voodoo shit on me, man. Damn. I don't trust Northerners. Let me tell you something. I don't trust Northerners, okay? If you live north of Oklahoma, I don't trust you. I believe that there is still some kind of weird Mason-Dixon line crap going on, okay?
Hey, Jay, let me ask you one question. Who's the only team that has swept the Houston Astros this year?
You know what? Go fuck yourself. I'm not going to say it because you know the answer to that. Billy knows the answer to that. Tony knows the answer to that. Everybody knows the answer to that. You don't need me to say it. But if you want me to say it, I'll say it. The Cincinnati Reds. Hey, I'm happy for you. Look, man, at the beginning of the season, you were sad. You thought the whole world was going to implode on the Reds. You thought everybody was doing this, that. And look at you now, man. You're happy. You look good. You sound good. The Reds are playing well. Abbott, your boy Abbott is a hell of a good pitcher, man. Honestly, De La Cruz. I hope he gets it. Like I told you earlier, I hope he gets an ingrown toenail. They amputate his foot. I hope all these bad things happen.
Speaking of De La Cruz, did you watched the game yesterday, right?
I got bits and pieces of it because I got home late, so I got bits and pieces.
Did you see where he hit that freaking rocket down first baseline and beat it out?
Yeah, that dude's we knew going into the season that was the thing about De La Cruz. We knew that he had speed, right? That was like what he was known for, as being a speed guy. So we already knew. I mean, he kind of reminds me of a Michael Bourne. You know, Michael Bourne was super fast.
But my thing,
when the Astros had him.
I don't know if I've ever seen somebody beat out one like that, because that was a rocket. I
know.
Usually that's the four.
And you may not see that again for a hot minute. Honestly, you damn sure ain't gonna see it from some of the bigger guys. It's gonna be them skinny little dudes that'll get down there. The outfielders, you see an outfielder pull that one, maybe.
Man, he can fly.
Honestly, the last time I seen a guy that had that kind of speed was Michael Bourne, and that's been a hot minute ago.
And he's hitting the ball well. We got a lot of rookies that are playing great. I mean,
that's the thing about your team, and I think that's one of the things.
We got a couple rookies that are right there for Rookie of the Year. I
Yeah.
mean,
And I think that's one of the things that kind of, the Astros struggle with, because you do have a lot of young guys, a lot of young talented guys that the Astros haven't seen, and they they came out and they came ready to play, and the Astros just couldn't match up with them. They just could not, and
And I kept saying during the offseason that Jonathan India was going to have a breakout year, and he's been playing.
You ain't been saying that all season. You didn't say it at the beginning of the season.
Off season. Yes, I did. In the offseason, when we talked about breakout players,
you might have been saying that when I was on my hiatus of moving. Maybe that's what you did.
This is back before
you snuck it in behind me. Okay.
This is before baseball started. I said Jonathan India because I said his rookie year he was real good. His sophomore
I'm gonna
year,
need some. Hey, listen, I'm gonna need some receipts. If you want to believe that, I need some receipts. I want you to go back over the next week and put clips together of you saying that.
I'll go back to unscripted and find it.
I'm gonna need you to do that
because you've done forgot.
Hey, I got that selective memory stuff.
But no, dude, they're on fire. I like the way they play. They play aggressive. They're running aggressively on the bases. They sometimes it's like, maybe tone it back just a little bit, but I like that they're aggressive because it forces the other team to make a play.
Well, I'll tell you this, honestly, there's a lot of teams out there that I think that are playing well on the AL side of life, right? You got Tampa still killing it. You got the Rangers still killing it. Now you got the Guardians. Looks like they're playing pretty well. Toronto's still playing, somewhat well. I got to be honest with you, man. When this season first started, I really thought it was going to mean – I felt really confident it might be me and Frankie back in the ALCS. But just given the way things are panning out as we get closer and closer to the All-Star break, I got to be honest with you, man. I would not be surprised. If I'm being realistic, if I'm being unbiased about all of this, I would not be surprised if it's Rangers and Tampa in the ALCS, to be honest with you. I would not be surprised one bit. And I'll even go one step further. I think whoever comes out of the AL again will take the World Series, whether it be Tampa or the Rangers, or if the Astros can get somehow back in there and get some sort of rhythm, get momentum going back. However you want to look at it, I definitely think the Rangers or Tampa, number one, could be the AL champion. And I do think that the Rangers or Tampa could win the whole World Series. I'm telling you, I don't know. And I'm not trying to put shade on the Reds because you guys are playing well, but you guys are still young, and I don't know how well you're going to play against some of the more veteran teams in the NL, or even against a Rangers team that's really hot, or a Tampa team that's really hot the way they are. I mean, I don't know if you have enough to compete with them. But again, it's not to say you can't either, right? But I'll tell you, these AL teams, specifically, like I said, the Rangers and the Tampa, these teams are scary, Gonzo. Like, they're scary, scary good, man.
I think the Reds played the Rays earlier this year, beat them once or twice.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just think that over the whole series.
Don't get me wrong, they're a good team. I think you have to watch out. National League, the Braves are starting to really put it together. They're hot.
True, that's true. They are.
Braves are a hot team, and they have some experience. So they're a team I think you have to look out for. But no, it's going to be interesting. The Reds. I
don't want to overlook Pittsburgh either.
Yeah, they're starting to fall off a little bit though, because they're in our division.
Yeah, I just feel like But dude, with the pitching that the Rangers have, I mean, unless injuries just completely take them, that's the only thing I think that would slow down the Rays or the Rangers would be the injury bug. If they can avoid the injury bug between now and October, and they keep riding this momentum, they're going to be scary, man. I would honestly, I would not want to face them at all.
The thing is, though, it's so early. I mean, because think about it.
But is it really early though? We're getting closer and closer to the All-Star break.
Think about it. Last year at the All-Star break, the Phillies was one of the worst teams in the National League.
Oh, I'm tracking what you're saying. And matter of fact,
if you go back about 3 years before that, the Nationals were the worst team in the baseball, or the worst team in the National League. Made it to at the All-Star break, came back and won the World Series that year.
Yeah. And truthfully, because I'm glad you brought up the Phillies of last year. That's the only thing that keeps me from just totally just saying hell with baseball is because I'm saying, okay, if the Phillies can do what they did, towards the end of the season, it gives me hope that maybe the Astros can get back into that momentum and get back into the race. That's the only reason I'm not completely just saying hell with baseball. It is the way the Phillies played last year.
I mean, yeah, till you get a few weeks after the All-Star break, anything can still happen in baseball. It seems like, and we've seen it before. I mean, a team can get hot. I mean, like that year the Nationals won the World Series. Nobody thought the Nationals was going to
and that's it. Series. That's it. I mean, it's all about momentum and getting hot. You're right. And again, look
the Phillies fired their manager. The Phillies fired their manager last year.
And that's the thing too. Well, two things you brought. Number one, look how hot the Yankees started off last year. We thought that team was just going to light it up all the way to the end. And of course, you saw about a week or so before All-Star break, they just fell apart and went into no man's land. So to your point, you're right. I mean, baseball, you just never know. You just never know.
If the Phillies can get healthy, they could be a team that could go on another some kind of a run this year and be there in the playoffs.
Right.
They've had some injuries to key players as well.
My hope and my prayer and my dream is that we'll get Alvarez back and we'll get Brantley back and Urquidy back before the All-Star break. If that could happen, if we could just get those three guys back, I think that the Astros could get their momentum and go and do something. But again, some of the part now with the Astros is I'm kind of questioning some of the decision making that Dusty's doing. Some of the decision making that Dusty Baker is doing really has me coming into question sometimes. Like, is he losing a step? I mean, I don't know. And it almost makes me think, well, should we fire Dusty and do like the Phillies did, promote our bench coach up, and let's see if that sparks some interest. I mean,
Jason, let's get rid of Dusty.
Hey, damn it! Sometimes you got to make a change. Judge is still out too, man.
He's still out.
Yeah, I don't know when Judge is going to be back.
In the turf toe or something like that.
I think Judge went out when he hit that wall at that last game and he made that spectacular catch. That kind of whatever he did to that toe just got him out of there, and he hasn't been back since.
Baseball's getting almost to the point where it'll start getting even more interesting now because we're getting close to the All-Star break.
Right.
And then after the All-Star break, I don't know, it seems like the season goes by a little quicker.
But too, what has affected baseball a lot, and some teams have adjusted well to it and some teams have not. And I think the Astros are still kind of struggling with it amongst other teams that are struggling with it. Number one is that pitch clock, the speeding up of the game. I think it's throwing a lot of pitchers out of their rhythms and their command and things like that because they're rushing more than, taking their natural time and delivery and things like that. So I think that pitch clock has definitely had an effect on some things. And I also think taking away that shift has really, it's good for baseball. I mean, it's good for baseball in terms of you're seeing more base hits, but it's bad for baseball because I think it takes some of the strategy out of it. And I think that's really, again, Houston was heavily, they're the ones that invented the damn shift, honestly. And it really took a lot away from them when you took that shift away. It really has given them more base hits now, and I see it. You can see it, especially on the left side not the left side, on the center field side and on the right field side. You can see they're getting a lot more base hits on the Astros now than what they did when we used to have the shift. You know what I'm saying? Defensively, it's hurt the Astros a lot.
Well, I like that the shift's gone because it makes for a better product to watch. It makes for a funner baseball game
I don't know.
To watch.
But how do you say better product? I think when you're taking strategy away from the game, how is that a better product?
It's a better product because there's more action. It's not.
So it's a better product for you. Hold on. So it's a better product for you.
That's why I said it's a better product. I said it's a better product to watch as a fan. If you're watching a game on TV, it's better because.
Well, I'm a fan, but I don't enjoy watching y'all get these cheap base hits on me. So I don't know. I just say I think it's a matter of point of view.
That's because you think it's affected your team. But
it has affected my team.
If you take that away from it,
it has. No, it really has. It really, no, seriously, I'm telling you, when I watch these games and I see all these base hits they're getting, and I was just saying to myself, if Altuve could play a few feet back in that grass like he had when the shit was going on, there would be a lot more outs. It really has affected us. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses, but that is one of the things I've noticed.
I think it makes for a more exciting game.
Gonzo, when you're getting base hits, of course it makes better baseball. But it doesn't if you're an Astros fan and you want to get those outs. It's not a better product for me. Hey, that's what this world is about, Gonzo. The world is all about me.
Hey, all other teams are playing the same way and they're figuring out how to get outs. The Astros just got to figure it out.
I'll figure it out. It's all give them back the damn shift. But I did tell my dad. Literally, I told my dad when they did away with this shit. I told my dad, I was like, it's a blessing and a curse because the Astros benefit off the shift just as much as everybody else, right? I mean, we get the bases like everybody else does, but at the same time, it's a bittersweet because you're getting the hits, but at the same time, they're getting the hits too, and I don't like that. I told my dad, I was like, when they did away with the shit, I said, watch, Dad, man, it's gonna be hard for the Astros to compensate. I think defensively, it's gonna be hard for them to compensate. It is what it is. We will work through it. You said Krusty will figure it out. Your dad said Krusty will figure it out. Krusty Baker. Your dad called Dusty Baker Krusty Faker. Hey, Tony, that's not nice, man.
Hey, you got to remember, Dusty was a Reds manager at one point.
He said, Jay said, comment. What does that mean? Baseball. Oh, next baseball commissioner. Okay, I got you. You know what? I wish they would. Oh, I wish they'd let me be baseball commissioner. Boy, if they would. Yeah, we'd be having great times. God, what a time to be alive. My first order of business is I'm checking all Reds pitchers for sticky substances. I think there's some shady stuff going on over there in Cincinnati land.
Hey, we're using spider tack. We're using whatever we can get our hands on.
Hey, I think there's some shady stuff going on over there in Cincinnati land. I don't know how y'all went from last place to first place in one season and didn't bring no free agents in. Hey, so I'm just saying.
You know who we learned the shady stuff from?
The Yankees, like everybody else.
The Houston Astros.
Hey, Tony, that's not fair, man. You take that back, Tony. I don't appreciate that. But, again, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's what they told us in high school. I believe it. What a time to be alive, man. No, but there's definitely there's a lot of teams in baseball this year that last year weren't this good. And, again, I mean, we talked about Pittsburgh. We talked about, I think, Arizona is playing pretty well. Baltimore is doing an incredibly good job. Even though they're not in first place in their division, they're still atop of the wild card race doing – I think they're like +4, I think, in the wild card race or +3.5, something like along those lines. So there's a lot of teams out there, man. I mean, honestly, that can make some serious run. Baltimore, I think, can make a serious run. I think Baltimore is going to be one of those surprise teams.
No, Baltimore's look good.
Yes, absolutely. I would let Pete Rose in. Absolutely. That would be my first order of business would get Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. My second one would be to, like Gonzo said earlier, and I'm going to designate it now. I'm going to designate a special wing in the Hall of Fame that says the steroid era, and then we're going to put Bonds in there. We'll put Clemens in there. Fuck Canseco. He can go suck it. You know what? And then we'll let some other people in there, okay? But Yeah, we're gonna make some changes. Okay, we're gonna bring a new era of baseball in. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I think it's a shame that we're gonna wait until Pete Rose dies and then we'll let him in. You know what? I'm even gonna bring Shoeless Joe Jackson and put his ass in there. Because if you put me in there, you got to put Shoeless Joe Jackson. Come on.
Baseball is petty enough that a week after Pete Rose dies, they'll put him in the whole.
They'll let him in. They'll be like, oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and let Pete Rose in this thing. You know. Damien said, "Question: Why is the NBA so damn soft on threatening this players like Miles Bridges? And neither of these players should be in the league." Peace. Your dad goes on and says, "Big head Bonds." Yeah, well, say it ain't so. Yeah. Hey, we need to let these guys in. But I'm gonna tell you right now, and I've said this before, I'm still putting an asterisk next to Barry Bonds and the home run record. I still think that one belongs to Hank Aaron. It's just my saying. But we will let them in. You can play that game however you want to play it.
All right. Did you watch any of the U.S. Open over the weekend?
I caught bits and pieces. Unfortunately, like I said, I was moving, so I didn't get a chance to really sit down and watch it. But I do want to say, obviously the big thing, right, was the historic round. I think it was round one, where Fowler and I forget the name of the guy. Gonzo, help me with the other guy. But there was two guys that hit record 62 shot rounds, which is incredible. I think like 10 under for the day.
Eight under.
Or was it 8 under? I apologize. 8 under. I know Fowler was the first one. Who was the second one? Start with
Xander Schauffele.
Yeah, Schauffele. I always call him Souffle, but yeah, Schauffele.
Yeah. Schauffele ended up falling off. Fowler was actually leading going into Sunday. Well, he was tied for the lead at 10 under going into Sunday, and he ended up falling back on Sunday. He shot like a +4. Wyndham Clark shot even on Sunday and won the tournament. That course, you saw like on Thursday, you had, like you just mentioned, you had the two guys that shoot 62s for 8 under, and then you had a few guys that were like 3-4 under. And then on Friday, you saw, I think one guy shot like a 6 under, and that was about the lowest round. But then you got the Saturday and Sunday, you didn't see many low rounds. I know Fleetwood shot like a -5 or a -6 yesterday, and that was the lowest round of the day. And that was in the morning group. That afternoon group, which had all the leaders, had Fowler and Clark and McIlroy. I mean, basically about everybody that was in the top 10. None of them shot good rounds. I mean, like I said, the guy that won it shot even yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and here's why I hurt Ricky Fowler, man. He shot great on Thursday, had that 62, and then he shot another great round on, I think it was Friday. Had a real good round going. He got a bunch of birdies, and that's what got him up to the -10. But the problem was that day he had like 7 birdies, like 5 bogeys, and then like 3 pars. The bogeys killed you. If he could just parred.
What's
he bogeyed that day, he would have had a 4 or 5 shot lead going into the weekend.
But that's the funny thing about golf, man. You can be playing really well. It only takes a couple of bad shots off the tee or whatever, or a couple of bad putts, and it can put you from first all the way down to third, if you're not careful.
I mean,
if you're not careful.
But in that in 18 holes, he had like 7 birdies, 5 bogeys. It's like, man, you gotta get some pars in there. You can't be birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie.
Right, because you're giving it back. You're getting it, but then you're giving it back on the next hole or the following hole.
He could have extended his lead, and then it might have been tough for anybody to catch him on the weekend, where he really wasn't able to extend that lead because all those the bogeys.
Well, I know he was, like I said, I believe, maybe if I'm wrong, but he was, when he started that third round, he was in the lead at 10 under. And then that third round was just a horrible day for him, and it took him out of it.
Yeah, he had a 2-shot lead going into the third round, and then at the end of the third round, him and Clark were tied going into the fourth round, and then in the fourth round, Clark ended up winning. Fowler fell back to about 6th or 7th. And see that, and exactly, Billy. That's what I was saying. Too many bogeys.
I think the real question for me is we saw McElroy sneak back up in there, but of course he came up shy. Hasn't gotten a major in a hot minute. Do you think before this year is out or this golf season is out, do you think we'll see McElroy get a major?
I don't know. He played real good. He couldn't hit no putts yesterday. His iron game was pretty good. He hit a lot of fair. Hell, I think if I remember correctly, he hit the most fairways in regulation this weekend.
Right.
His was good off the tee. He just had, especially yesterday, had trouble hitting any putts. It wouldn't surprise me if he does. The last couple tournaments he's been right there. The last 3 weeks he's been right there to win the tournaments. He just hasn't been able to get over that hump. So, it wouldn't surprise me. You got the Open coming up here in a couple weeks, so he'll get a chance at that major here pretty quick. And then, so it wouldn't surprise me. I think him and I think Scheffler. It wouldn't surprise. Wouldn't surprise me to see Scheffler get one. Scheffler finished top 5 or 6 again in a major, and he's done that. I think the last 6 or 7 majors or something. He's always up there in contention. Dustin Johnson played pretty good. He kind of fell back on yesterday. But like I said, hell, I think it was on Friday when he was up there with the lead toward the lead, and he had that 8, or he shot an 8 on a par 4 on Friday, and that kind of killed his momentum. But he still finished pretty high.
Damien says, which merger do you think will last longer, PGA with Liv or UFC with WWE? And I'm going to go. I think the Liv will last longer just because Liv has so much money and influence that I think that one's going to last. I don't know how well Dana White's going to last with WWE, but I think that Liv one would last longer.
Dana White don't have nothing to do with WWE, but I don't think either one of them are going to crumble. That parent company, I can't think of the name of it now, that owns the UFC, and now they're the majority owner of WWE. I don't see them going anywhere. They're
right.
They're smart, and I don't see the Liv and PGA going anywhere either. It came
down.
Saudi
money runs deep.
Well, yeah, and what it came down to. PGA couldn't afford to for the court battle, so that's why they end up having to merge.
Bro, when you're going up against an entity that has 600 million, or so was it 600? Is it 600 million or 600 billion? Whatever it is. It's a lot. It's astronomical money.
Yeah, it's in the billions that they have.
Yeah, so it's probably like 600 billion. When you got 600, I remember another number was 600, so I think it's 600 billion. When you got 600 billion dollars, that's almost $1 trillion. You ain't taking that down. There's no way in hell.
No. They're going to. Billy says he's not liking the golf merger. I'm interested to see what's going to change. Nothing's really has changed yet because they're not going to change anything until after the rest of the season. It'd be interesting to see what changes are made out of it.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. No. You know what's going to happen? No.
The good thing that has came out of it though is that the PGA is paying more money now. No, go Gonzo. Don't overlook what's going to happen now. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. All the caddies are going to switch over to being Al Qaeda. Oh, shit.
I'm just saying, man. Hey, listen. Al Qaeda's going to infiltrate the caddy world, man. I'm just trying to tell you. When you start seeing, the Iraqi and Afghani caddies out there.
I don't think so. Because these golfers will keep using the caddies they always use. And
excuse me, Mr. McElroy. Ahmed would be so much better caddy for you. Please use him. Give him a shot. Give him a tryout.
It won't change much. The Saudis are invested in so many damn things. Most people don't realize that about everything. They're invested in about as much as China is invested in our farmlands and every other thing. So trust me, I get it. about any damn technology we use. The Saudis are invested in it.
He said, "Hey, go back up a couple though to where Glenn was talking about." He said, "Or harder than he was with them." Adult start. Oh my lord! Oh no, go back up one more to Dustin. That's what he was referring to. So Dustin says Roy hit the wall harder than Tiger Woods hit that light pole. Damn.
But my dad did just show me a post real quick that the Reds are moving Hunter Green to the IL. So that's not good.
Wait, who was out the IL?
Hunter Green.
Oh wow.
I'm not sure for how long or anything yet, but yeah.
Damn. Okay.
That'd be our third pitcher that we have, our third starter that we have on the IL.
Yeah, but you do have a lot of young guys out there. I think you'll be okay. Secretly, I'm just happy inside, like yes, oh, go to the IL. What a time! Oh, Glenn Richardson says for his hip. I guess his hip was an issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, the hip and that shoulder for pitchers, the hip and that shoulder, man, those are bad things, man, when they hit you.
And his win-loss record isn't what it should be because he's pitched good enough to win some games where he just hasn't got run support, which is kind of weird because we're hitting the ball pretty good, but it seems like on the days that he pitches is when the days our bats go a little cold for some reason. And he keeps us in games, and we still win. I mean, we won a couple of the last here, but like the last 4 or 5 games, his ERA is like right at 2. I mean, he's been his last 4 or 5 starts have been real solid. So it does suck to lose him because he looked like he was finally getting in his rhythm. But hey, it's still early in the season though. If you're gonna go down with something minor, this is time for it to happen.
I don't know, Gonzo. That hip ain't always something minor, but hopefully it is. Hopefully for him, I don't want something bad. Yeah. But hopefully it's just something minor. And like you said, it's before the All-Star break, so we still got I think it's 2, maybe 3 weeks before the All-Star break, and then the All-Star break is usually about like a week long or whatever. So that could be 3-4 weeks right there. So you should get him back. Hopefully, if you get him back, 2 weeks after the All-Star or a week after the All-Star break, then you'd be in good shape.
All right. Let's talk about this for a second. What was your thoughts on the John Morant getting the 30 games? He got if he got about what I had said, because I said about a quarter of the season. I said 25, 30 games. So I figured that would be something around there. And I just based it off Gilbert Arenas, who brought the gun to the locker room and stuff, and he got 50 games. So I didn't think it was going to be more than that. I didn't think.
How do I feel about it? Look, man,
I thought it was going to be less. I hear people saying that the NBA was soft; they should have done more. And then people are saying that the NBA are doing too much.
No, I don't. I'm going to agree with the soft side of it. I'm going to agree, and I'll tell you why. A couple of reasons. So he gets a 25-game suspension, and then he's found. And again, these are not things that are illegal. So let's make sure we understand that. But at the same time, it kind of goes to your character, and that's kind of really where I'm going with this. Not so much that it's not an illegal act, but it goes towards his character. After the 25-game suspension, there's a photo I think on Instagram, I believe it was, where he's got this gun, and it's a toy gun, but it's a lighter. Like he's lighting candles with a 9mm toy replica, but it's a lighter, and he's lighting it, put it on Instagram, and I'm like, bro, you just got a 25-game suspension for a conduct detrimental to the league because you're flashing a weapon on Instagram, and this is like the 4th or 5th issue that involved a firearm or violence towards a 17-year-old, and this is how I know you don't take it seriously. Because you're over there showing pictures on Instagram with a gun lighter, lighting candles. That just tells me in my brain that what Silver said, number one, didn't resonate with you. And number two, your comments of, I got to rein in my actions and I got to do this. And I got to be better at this. It's all complete, total bullshit. And that's the problem I have with John Morant. is the fact that the league, number one, they should have given a stronger, number one, they should have given a stronger suspension for him. But number two, it just tells me that he hasn't learned anything from what's gone on. And I'm telling you right now, Gonzo, past predictions are predictions for future behaviors, that he will be in trouble again. I promise you, he will be in trouble again.
If he gets in trouble again, and then he'll get punished again, or might be done. I don't know. I figured, like I said, he got what I figured he was going to get, and I was all right. I was all right with it. I want to see the guy get his shit together, and either way, he's either going to get his shit together or not. Whether he gets how hard they punish him or don't punish him, he's either going to get his shit together or not. You know what I'm saying? They could punish the hell out of him, and he still might not get his shit together. They could give him no punishment, and he still might not get his shit together. One way. So I mean,
it's just you just know the way he thinks, the way he views, the way he acts. Even after the punishment phase was over, it just tells you everything you need to know about him. It just tells you everything you need to know.
So it'd be. Like I said, we'll see what happens with it. Then with that other controversial stuff, you have, I guess, former West Virginia basketball coach now, Bob Huggins, another
Huggins,
and I guess he was pretty well over the limit from what I was hearing.
0.21. If the legal limit is 0.08 and he's blowing 0.21. Number one, this is what cracks me up. He's blowing 0.21. He thinks that he's in Columbus when he's not even anywhere near Columbus. He's trying to show receipts from McDonald's or Burger King or wherever it was he ate at to prove that he's in Columbus. He's got a bag full of empty beer cans and a bag full of empty beer bottles in his vehicle. And 10 times they asked him if he knew where he was, and 10 times he had no clue as to where he even really was. Wow. And I will tell you that, I'm going to end with this. West Virginia University was smart to put him on a 1-year contract to prove himself, because he literally hung himself every inch of the way.
I've been there before. But I wasn't behind the wheel. I've been drunk enough before where I don't know where the hell I'm at. I didn't know where the hell I was at.
Hey, me too. But I don't got a beer can or a bag full of beer cans and a bag full of beer bottles in my vehicle, and I'm trying to prove where I'm at.
Yeah. I heard a report that when they opened the door, the beer cans fell out the car.
Yeah, I'm just, and then again too, man. Hey, we're not the heads. We're not in the media eye like Huggins is. Huggins is all over the media. I mean, everything he does for a living is all media driven. I mean, our lives are kind of low key. He's like in high profileisms.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to get that fucked up, that's on you. But don't drive. And when you're making, and especially when you have the kind of money that them coaches have and these players have and stuff, there's definitely no excuse. There's no excuse anyway. But it even makes it, in my eyes, even more blatant, because like, hey, it ain't like you can't afford to freaking call a ride. So I mean, it's just you. I mean, hey, go, if I'm all for people, go enjoy yourself, but just be smart about it. And
we gotta talk about that. Oh Jesus, we gotta talk. Hey, since we're talking about people making stupid decisions, that's a perfect segue into Jack Jones.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't know, man. Let me just say, what sense does it make to bring 2 firearms in your check baggage? No, in your carry-on. I apologize. 2 firearms in your carry-on, loaded and you have a multi-round magazine as well. What the hell are you thinking? Like, how stupid do you have to be?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Like, seriously, bro, if you really got to have your guns with you, all you got to do is make sure they're unloaded and in your checked baggage. If it's checked and they're unloaded, you're fine. But the minute you try to bring loaded firearms, 2 loaded firearms in your carry-on, what do you bring in loaded firearms on a plane carry-on for anyway? I mean, you expecting somebody to attack you on a plane?
Hey, what if there's a plane heist or something and you're on there? You could save the day.
I'm just. Hey, John, I didn't catch the Wake Forest game today. I apologize, man, but I did see they did beat LSU today. And anytime they beat LSU, it's a good day in my book. So congrats to Wake Forest. And congrats to TSA for doing a thorough screening of Jack Jones.
So Wake Forest beat LSU today?
Yeah, I think it was 3-1 or 3-2, something like that.
Yeah, I missed that. I'll tell you what, that College World Series has been crazy. I've been watching some of that as well. It's been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah. Stanford's been kicking the crap out of Texas, so it's been.
John Suggs has said, "Hey Chris, how about your Reds since bringing fast tall dude up?" Yeah, I think they're 11-2 or 12-2 now since they brought De La Cruz up to the big leagues. But if you go back even farther, since they brought that McClain up, they've had a winning record as well. And that McClain in just under a couple months, he's hitting over 300. The Reds' whole starting lineup's hitting 250 or better right now. And I mean, dude, if your whole team's hitting 250 or better, you're going to be able to score runs. You just got your pitching just has to be able to do their job. And right now our bullpen's ranked 3rd in the National League, and I think 11th in Major League Baseball. So if our starters can we get our starters healthy, I think we'll be able to make a pretty good run, and we'll see what happens. I'm just happy that we're competitive. That's what I've been wanting, and right now we're competitive, and it's fun to watch.
You know, I have a hard time supporting any team whose name is Reds, and I'll tell you why. Most communist states are called Reds.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, but I'm a pure American. I can't vote for the communistic Reds. But they got ties to Russia or maybe even China.
It'd be all right. I'm sure Houston has some ties to either Russia or China as well.
Hey, wait, what? We do have a lot of refineries. We got to get our oil somewhere.
Okay, maybe the Saudis in. Is that who you guys deal with?
Hey, I'm just saying, man. Damn, son. It's a lot of Shell gas stations down here. I'm just saying, it's all good.
That's what kills me when people are going crazy about that. It's like, you guys not realize like any big company there is has ties to most of these other countries. It's how it is.
So what do you think about Damien talks of, so like I said, we're also talking about airports. Brittany Griner had her little kerfuffle with the media podcaster guy, and she didn't want to be bothered. So then it makes this big kerfuffle, and now they're putting her on private chartered flights around wherever it is she's got to play on her away games. What do you think about this whole thing that they're trying to do around her? I mean, is that a good thing, bad thing? Do we care about it? Mexican communist. Oh, Lord. Your dad said Mexican communist. Hey, look, I'm just repeating what he said. I'm not saying there's communist Mexicans.
Personally, I really don't. It's not something. This to me, it's something I really care about. I mean, I understand what the, and I don't know. It's to me, it kind of shows how soft we're getting as as a world that we have to charter planes because somebody says something to somebody. Uh, and I mean, that's about all I'm gonna say about that. Because
Hey, look, I get it. Hey, John, I'm right there with you, man. Hey,
yeah, that's basically what I was saying.
I mean, and again, I mean, they're talking about security, this, that, and the other. I'm
And
sorry, but if you're any kind of
hey,
superstar, do you not think somebody's going to
and
say something to you in an airport?
when you've made some of the comments that she's made in the past, there's
Bound
going
to be, yeah.
there's going to be people that are going to say stuff like that to you, wrong or right or wrong. You know what I mean? But you don't when you kind of open yourself up to it more when you with some of the public comments that have been made in the past. It's kind of my feelings on it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know. Trust me, I'm right. I'm right there with you. I feel the same way as how Tony is feeling. I mean, a lot of people are feeling. I mean, like you put yourself in a limelight, and then you get upset when people want to, or especially when media wants to talk to you in an airport. I mean, what are we doing, man? I mean, it's kind of part of the job. Being a celebrity is dealing with the media. And if he's just asking you questions, come on, what are we talking about, man?
Yeah.
It's the world we live in, Gonzo. It's the world we live in.
Before we do get out of here, let's talk a little bit about this big trade that happened yesterday.
And I want to ask you this during a pre-show. I'm glad you brought that up.
I've heard people saying that that the Suns are the best team in the NBA now. I don't think I would go that far yet. I think we need to see what kind of team they build or put around Durant and Bill and Booker, and if Aiton's still there. But it's just adding Bill. I still don't, in my personal opinion, I don't think that makes them better than the Denver Nuggets by just adding Bill. So I still think we need to, before you can declare they're the best team in the NBA, we kind of need to see. I think they have six or seven guys on the roster right now. Let's see what their full roster.
And and I'm glad you said that. It really is bad on Washington's side, and I'll get to that in a second. And it's also bad on Phoenix's side because they gave up, I think, 2 or 3 players. Obviously, one of them was Paul, but they didn't address their biggest issue. The biggest issue wasn't the starting 5. The biggest issue was the bench or lack thereof a bench. And they still don't have a bench. Not only do they not have a bench, but they brought $207 million more added on to their payroll than what they were paying Paul and the other guys. So now they increased their cap. They still didn't bring any bench players in. And yet Perkins, I must say, because he said it, I must say Perkins said that they're the best team in basketball. Really? But we all know Perkins. He says a lot of dumb stuff. So I'm not even going to take him with a grain of salt. Let's look at the flip side of it, though. The flip side of it is they gave away a lot of draft picks. Now, granted, they are second-round draft picks. They also gave around second-round draft pick swaps. So they gave up second-round picks. They did not get any bench players. Washington lets go of Bill. Washington shed some cap space. But what did Washington really get out of it? They got a bunch of second-rounders, and they got Chris Paul, who they're going to get rid of anyway, either through a buyout or a trade. I think more than likely, I think he gets bought out. And I think Paul actually winds up with the Lakers or the Clippers, and we'll see how that fans out. But I haven't probably going to the Lakers or Clippers. At the end of the day, Washington really gets nothing out of it other than the fact that they shed Bradley Beal's contract, which kind of tells me now that Washington Wizards are getting ready to go into a full rebuild mode, which they've been rebuilding for decades. So Washington is still going to suck ass. Phoenix is still going to suck ass because they have no damn bench. So was there really a winner in all of this? Hell no. It's a wash.
Yeah, I mean, It might help the Suns a little bit, make them a little better. Like I said, it depends on what kind of bench they can put around them. But John makes a good point. Bill has not. He's not been a guy that stays healthy, and so if he is he going to be, you know what I mean? Is he going to be on the court?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And again, I think he winds. John, I think he winds up with the Lakers. Truthfully, I really think he's going to wind up with the Lakers. I think Bron wants him to come play with them. I think he wants to go play with them. I would not be surprised if CP3 winds with the Lakers. But at the end of the day, I don't think the Lakers are going to do a damn thing either. So bring on CP3. That's fine. I don't think it's going to make a damn bit of difference.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said,
no, I mean, I would. You know what I think is going to happen? I would not be. Huh?
If the Suns don't get some depth, it don't matter. It don't matter who you're going to have as your starting five. You got to have some depth. If you're going, especially to go against the top teams, you're not going to beat Denver with just a front-loaded team, not in a 7-game series. You're going to have a bench that can contribute some. And that was a problem. That was their problem. That was our problem this year in the playoffs against Denver.
And now there's reports that, obviously we all know that Draymond Green opted out of the $27.5 million year of his contract. He opted out, so now he's a free agent. So now they're saying that LeBron wants him to come over and play with the Lakers. So what if the Lakers add a CP3 and a Draymond Green? You know what's going to happen? I'm going to tell you the same damn thing. Ain't gonna make no damn difference.
That don't make no sense for the Lakers. Why would you?
It doesn't make sense. But I think Bron wants him to come play over there. I think they're going to do that because of him.
Why would you? Because why would you want to get older?
Of course. No, I'm right there with you. Trust me, I agree. It makes no sense. But let me ask you this: when the hell is over the last 4 years, have the Lakers done anything that really makes sense? So it almost kind of fits their pattern, is what I'm getting at. The Lakers are just a team of craziness, honestly. I think, you know what? Hey, I would not be surprised if Lillard winds up going to – I don't think it'll happen, but if he does leave – if he were to leave Portland, I think he would go to Miami. That's where I think Lillard winds up going. Oh, then there's the whole Zion thing. Obviously, reports have come out that, the Pelicans are looking to want to trade Zion, or they would be willing to trade Zion, but who's going to bring Zion on? With all of his issues and baggage?
Yeah, but the report I'm hearing is the New Orleans is wanting to trade Zion to maybe Charlotte for the number 2 pick because they're wanting that Scoot Henderson.
That wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, like I said, what have they really gotten out of Zion anyway? The guy sits on injured reserve.
I think that'd be a good thing for New Orleans. I think it's a stupid move for Charlotte.
Oh, it's a dumb move for Charlotte. But again, what has Charlotte done lately that even makes sense?
Hey, people can say what they want about what did Jordan do with Charlotte as an owner. I can tell you one thing he did. He just sold some of his ownership for $3 billion. It still owns some of the team.
Oh yeah, look, Jordan is great at business. Okay, when it comes to making money, Jordan is great at that. When it comes to running a basketball team, he's horrible. But he makes money, so yeah.
He just made $3 billion, and he still owns part of the team. He didn't sell all of his stake; he just sold his majority. So he still has an ownership in the Hornets. He's just not.
Jordan, like I said, when it comes to finances, Jordan is smart as a whip. But when it comes to actually running a team or developing a team, making it a contender, now that's where he kind of lacks.
I think he was it like $300 million he paid when he bought the majority, and he sold it for.
I thought it was less than that. I was thinking
maybe it was $30 million or something. Let's put
it this way: it was far less than $3 billion.
Yeah, it still owns some of it. That's what was crazy to me.
Yeah, the fact that he still has a minority stake is incredible. I was trying to see exactly what he did pay for that.
I heard it on the radio the other day, but I can't remember.
$275 million. That's what Michael Jordan plans to keep a minority stake in the Hornets, the team he bought in 2010 for about $275 million. So you weren't too far off when you said 300, give or take, minus $25 million. You were pretty close. So $275 million, and I'm walking away with $300 billion, and I still got a minority stake. Yeah, that's a pretty good payday. Yeah, why not? Sure. Wow. Jeez. And he still has all that Nike money, too. He still makes every year. The time to be alive. Jeez.
Damien says Lillard already said he's staying in Portland. They're not interested in trading him.
And that may be. I was just saying that if he was to leave, I would see him going to Miami.
Damien, I haven't seen the tweet, but I was listening.
I know he did make a tweet towards Chicago, but yeah.
I was watching the McAfee show today, and McAfee, and then we're talking about it, how he called Chicago his daddy instead of the other way around, like Aaron Rodgers would always tell Chicago that he was their dad.
Hey, look, as long as you can back it up, right? Don't mean saying some tweets to Chicago and then not go out there and back it up. So you better be able to back it up.
Yeah, Green. I'm not sure because of how of what John says there about the price. Is how much money? What's he going to want? If you can get him on, a good deal, I think there's a few teams that can make sense for him. But if he's wanting to make top money, I don't see many teams going to be interested in him at that price.
I think he wants a lot of things that he's not going to get. I think $27.5 million is probably about where he lands. I don't think he gets more than that. And personally, I think $27.5 million is too much anyway for him.
That's with Green. He would if they get him at the right price, just because. I mean,
if you get him at the right price, he might give you a little toughness down low in the paint that obviously Adebayo's not giving you.
Yeah. See, I've heard with the Pacers, and I wouldn't be against him coming to the Pacers if it's something like this. If it's at like a veteran minimum or something like that. But I don't want him at no $30 million a year.
Hey, don't worry about it. He'll go to the Pacers. Halliburton will say something. He'll knock him out, and then you'll be pissed. It's all good, man.
Hey.
It's all good in the hood, man. Look, knock out Halliburton, knock him out for a couple of weeks.
Halliburton ain't no little bitch like Poole. Halliburton will get back up and knock Draymond out.
Maybe. Let's find out. Hey, all I know is that sounds like an easy money stat line. Over or under? What are we doing here?
And that is one thing I worry about bringing Green is if you bring in Draymond Green in your locker room, he does a lot of good. He can do a lot of good, but he can also how's he going to affect your chemistry of your team and stuff like that as well. You gotta have all that feed into it as well. But
let's be honest. You're not really getting a Draymond Green from the championship years. This guy has lost a little bit off of that.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't want him at 27 million a year. I take him cheaper, but he's not to me.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely vet minimum, or maybe even a little bit of. I don't know if you get him at the vet minimum. I don't think anybody's going to get vet minimum, but I think if you get him around 5 to 6 million, to me that's still a good deal.
Yeah, I do it around that. But not no 27 million. John says Hopkins, New England, been there for the last 5 days. I've heard New England. I keep hearing things about Tennessee as well. So it's going to be. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I haven't got a good feel for it yet.
Every time we say, "Yo, yeah, we've been there 5 days. We'll go to New England or Tennessee," and then somebody out of nowhere comes in, swoops in, and he winds up going there. So. Hey, look, I wouldn't be surprised. I really would not be surprised if he wound up in Houston and went back and played there. I would not be surprised if he went to to the Browns and play with Watson and reunited with Watson. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Again, Tennessee, he's got the Vrabel connection. And New England, he's got the Bill O'Brien connection, which they cleared the way. He said he has no more animosity towards Bill O'Brien. So there's a few teams I think that really have connections to him that I think he goes and plays with. Who and I don't think you can say just because he's there in New England for 5 days, he may be hanging out with friends. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to sign there. I think, like I said, I think Houston, I think Cleveland, I think Tennessee, and I think New England. I think all those guys have a fair shake at him. And I think we're going to find out as we get closer and closer to training camp. I think is when I think he's going to sign.
I still wouldn't count out a team like Buffalo or Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, again, you never know who jumps in the ring, man. I mean, it's always these out of the teams that you don't even see coming.
And it always seems like the rich get richer.
Man, hey, listen, and he can do great things with Patrick Mahomes out there in Kansas City, man. I mean, think about it. I mean, Kelsey, he would take a world of the weight off of Kelsey. I mean, and then they got Katavian Price, or what's that dude's name? Katoni, whatever his name is.
And even with the Bills, I mean, look, you got Diggs and him with Hopkins and
what's the other dude? Is it Gabe Davis? That's the other guy.
Yeah, they got Davis, and then they got a pretty good tight end in Knox now. I mean, so he can do damage there too.
The only thing that Buffalo truly is missing, which they really need more than they do, Hopkins. I'm not saying they don't need Hopkins, but I think the biggest thing that Buffalo needs is a true running back. They don't have a true running back, which I kind of think that's where Dalvin Cook comes in. I would not be surprised if Dalvin Cook, and I think it would be a smart move on Buffalo's part to reunite him with his brother. Had the Cook brothers, they could do special things over there in Buffalo, man, on the running side of the game, honestly. And I think Dalvin Cook still has a lot left in the tank.
Oh yeah, I think he does as well. I can see maybe Buffalo. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. And, I mean, these running backs, man, there's just no – they want big contracts. No team wants to give a running back a big contract anymore either. So,
which really kind of tells you that, the value of the running back, from, way back when and to where it is now, it's not the same. They don't value it the same.
Well, not just that. It's not – I mean, it's some of that, but I think more of it is the supply and demand. It's a lot easier to find a running back to replace your running back than it is at other positions. There's always running backs. It's not like at quarterback where there's a shortage of quarterbacks, or there's not a shortage of good running backs. You can bring a guy in on a rookie deal or a cheap deal and get good production out of them. So these teams don't want to pay a big second contract on these guys, because hell, they can go find another guy that can do close to the same, if not the same, and pay him a lot cheaper. So if there wasn't, if there wasn't that supply of running backs, if there wasn't as many good running backs, then the demand would go up, and then they'd have to pay these running backs more. But running back is just a position that there's just a shitload of people that can run a football.
Absolutely. John says Dallas should drop Zeke, but John, they did drop Zeke. Zeke's not with Dallas anymore. So, and I wouldn't be mad if Dallas went and grabbed up Cook, and if they want to, tag team Cook with Pollard. I mean, I'm all for that. I think that'd be a great combination, truthfully. What about Taylor? I don't think you guys give Taylor more than $10.5 million. I would be surprised if you did.
I think Colts will get something. Colts will get something worked out with him, but I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be no big, real big deal. I think they'll probably sign him to at least one contract, to at least one more extension, because he's still on his rookie deal. They'll probably sign him to a contract, and after that, they might. After that, usually running backs don't get that second big contract.
Yeah, I do think Cook would be great in Dallas. I really do. I think that would be a great 1-2 punch on their backfield, especially because we still don't know. I mean, how anytime you go down with a knee injury, you never know what you're really getting back. You hope that you get the same guy, that left, like Breece Hall. Hopefully Breece Hall will come back and play like Breece Hall was playing for the Jets. But, you just don't know. I mean, we don't know how Pollard's going to come back, but I do know that I think Dalvin Cook can make the load a lot easier on Pollard. I know Zeke didn't really make it easier, but I'm hoping Dalvin will do that for them. So we'll see. We will see.
All right, Jay, you got any final thoughts before we get out of here for tonight?
Yeah, I got two final thoughts. Number one, I hope the Reds burn in hell. Number two, I hope the Yankees join them. And number three, tune in to Unscripted tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Jeremy Green from ESPN Radio Asheville, host of the Sportsocracy, will be on the show. We're going to pick his brain about a lot of different topics, some of the things we talked about tonight and a few other things as well. So don't forget to miss out, or don't forget to catch us. Gonzo will be there 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Jeremy Green will be on the show.
All right. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room as well. Only thing else I got, hey Jay, who's in first place in National League Central?
It's commies.
The Cincinnati Redlegs, damn it.
You call them the Reds, I call them the commies.
Reds moved into first place tonight. I know it's still early in the season. We ain't won anything yet, but I'll tell you what, hey, it's fun. It's just been a fun season so far because we're actually competitive and not getting our brains beat in. So, we got
there's been a little pep in your step tonight, man. Usually when we talk about the Reds, you kind of, why can't you get the out? And tonight you've just been so happy. You've been happy, Gonzo. All night you've been happy, man.
Since April, we have the best road record in baseball. We've really started playing some good baseball. So we just got to see if we can keep it up. Hopefully, these injuries. Hopefully, this hip injury. Dad said that from what he was reading that I guess he had trouble with his hip a little bit earlier in the year, and they don't think it's nothing serious. They're just basically more of a precautionary and make sure it gets healed up all the way. So it don't sound like they think it's going to be something serious. And one of our other pitchers, Ashcraft, that one of our other stars that's been hurt, he's coming back later this week. So that's good that he's getting ready to come back. So that'll help some since we're losing another starter. But
real quick, all right, hold on, John Sugg. Before you get out of here, if you ask me about Houston, I didn't say at the beginning of the show, man, we're playing like complete and total ass right now. So obviously, roles have reversed. I feel like Gonzo did at the beginning of the season. Gonzo feels like I did at the end of the last season. So there you go. There you have it.
Hey, John, I asked him earlier who was the only team that swept the Astros this season.
Oh, the commies.
Because I knew
the commies swept us.
I knew as soon as the Reds done it yesterday, I was like, we're the only team that swept them this season.
What a time to be alive. Oh, no, wait a minute. Hold on, John. Let's not go that far, guy. That's kind of a stretch there. Hold on now. Come on.
I'll put that.
That's a little too much.
Hey, Oakland did win like 8 in a row last week, or 7 or 8 in a row last week.
Just go ahead and get that.